Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. The Cleveland Browns robbed me of $100 2 preseason weeks in a row. What's dumber than betting $100 on the Browns in back-to-back preseason games? How about betting on the final week of preseason football? Yeah, way dumber, but that's what I'm gonna do today because I feel lucky. My advice to you is do the opposite of what I do. I have lost more bets this season than I have won, and technically the season hasn't even started yet. My goal here is to lose as much of the free Bet DSI money that I have, and by losing that, being an example of a bad sports bettor for you to succeed. That's what I'm trying to do, and I figure if you're gonna gamble, you better look like a gambler. And I think I do. That's Good Sports. This episode is sponsored by BetDSI.com. It is one of the most trusted sports books out there. Right now, if you use my promo code GS100, BetDSI will match your first deposit up to $1,000. They will give you free money to play with on a 10x rollover. Again, you can only get that with my promo code GS100 and by clicking the link, the BetDSI link in this description. Use that link. In all seriousness, I just wanted to take a second to say that not everybody should gamble. Sports betting can be a tricky thing, and you should only do it if you have the means to do it and can remain disciplined with a budget and, not get yourself in trouble. And I think of some great advice I once heard that I think you could apply to yourself if you want to, start betting on football games this season. My friend said, you gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run, 'cause the dealer caught you cheating. And if the casino catches you, they're gonna break your fucking legs into pieces in the back room. You better run, my friend, run really fast, 'cause the casino will take a broomstick and shove it up your ass, and then they'll cut off your little dick and mail it to your grandma, 'cause they don't like cheating bastards in their casino room. So stick by that advice and you should be just fine. Now here's my honest opinion. Betting on the final week of preseason football is extremely unpredictable. All sports betting is unpredictable, but this is unpredictability on acid made by your friend who thinks he understands chemistry. We know that basically no teams will play their starters, right? And I have no idea how sportsbooks have a good grasp on which team's third stringers will outplay another team's third stringers, especially in the fourth quarter, when guys are desperately doing anything they can to get the coach's attention to make a roster spot. If I were an NFL head coach right now, I'd bet my entire yearly salary, scratch that 3 years salary, on the 4th preseason game, and then play all of my starters for 4 quarters to get that win, and then fucking retire. I'd be like the Pete Rose and Michael Kendricks of NFL head coaches. Kendricks, the Browns linebacker from way of Philly, is facing federal insider trading charges and was then released by the Browns. Browns owner Jimmy Haslam has famously avoided fraud charges for his Flying J gas station company several times and is widely known as a crook. Seeing him release Kendricks for insider trading is more hypocritical than if Mark Davis fired John Gruden for having a bad haircut. Anyway, what I like is that you don't need to really know anything about football right now to bet on these final games. Have your toddler or dog make the picks for you today, and that is as good as any football intel you may gather on your own. Most of the point spreads this week are pretty conservative, with one exception. Right now, the Washington Redskins and Baltimore Ravens have the biggest point spread. The Ravens are favored by 6.5 points at the time of placing this bet for me. Last week, the Denver Broncos manhandled Washington, and it looks like sportsbooks believe Washington's depth is shit. Hence, the 6.5 they're giving Baltimore. I'm guessing they also like Lamar Jackson to smoke Washington's defense. I mean, the Redskins defense let Paxton Lynch lead a scoring drive against them last week, something no other defense had allowed this preseason. I think the sportsbook is right in favoring the Ravens, and that is why I am betting on the Redskins to at least not lose by 6.5 points. Colt McCoy, now is your time to shine, baby. Bring daddy home some bacon, McCoy. You and me, the real deal, McCoy. You're gonna win me that fucking money, Colt. I think the other thing you could take advantage of is the over-under. Every over-under is set between 34 and 38 points-ish. Compare that to week 1 with a fluctuation between 42 and 50.5 points. That's double what it is this week. A low over-under, in my opinion, is the Texans-Cowboys game set at 34.5. This preseason, the Cowboys have scored 21, 13, and 3 points. The Texans have scored 17, 16, and 20 points. That is an average of 12.3 points per game for Dallas and 17.6 points per game for Houston. Combine that, and it's 29.9 points per game, well below the 34.5 over-under. Now, if you're a smart person who likes math, and patterns and evidence that the Cowboys' second team was horrible against the Cardinals last week, you should take the under here. I am not a smart person. I am taking the over. Dallas has given up at least 21 points in all of their games. Add 21 plus the 17.6 average from Houston per game, and you get more than 34.5. Plus, Dallas played on Sunday. That's a 4-day turnaround for their final game. Houston might score more than 30 on that defense with former Cowboys QB and former NFL starter Brandon Weeden flinging the rock. Weeden, baby! Boy, am I living in the past, relying on Brandon Weeden and Colt McCoy to make me money this weekend. Or this Thursday, isn't it? Those are my bets this week. Enjoy my ability to lose money for your gain. I am a giver! Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When you're dead, you fucking cheater.